Hey, y'all, my name's Bryant Young.
And Derek Chaney.
Here with the Decent Dads podcast. We just wrapped up an episode with our good buddy, Garrett Dollins.
Yep, another good friend, so naturally we had a great time with him.
Big stories, fun stories, and also like kind of emotional stories.
Yeah, he talked about, going on, he just got back from family vacay.
Yeah.
Talked about that, how,
having a sick kid on family vacation, which has got to just be the worst.
Right, yeah, you have a picture in your head of how it's going to go, and it doesn't even
Exactly.
go anywhere close to that.
So I think you guys are going to enjoy this one. It was a good episode. I'm going to give you a little bit of a spoiler ahead of the time. The dad jokes were particularly weak this week. I'm just going to go ahead and say it right now.
Speak for yourself.
They were not very good. So I don't really have
Set
anything
those
else.
expectations
Yeah, exactly.
low.
Hey, you know what? It's one of those under promise, over perform kind of things. Right. I'm just really trying to tee them up here. So, folks, we really hope you enjoy this one. So, without further ado, Decent Dads podcast.
Let's do it.
Here we go. Good evening, folks, and welcome back to the Decent Dads podcast. We're here to tell dad jokes, drink coffee, and build a community of dads navigating fatherhood together. I'm Bryant Young, fearless leader, co-host, girl dad, and your friendly local insurance agent based out of Springfield, Missouri. And now, before we get started on today's episode, please help me welcome, he's a 6'3" sophomore shooting guard from small town, Missouri. He wishes he was a first-team All-American, but instead, he's the coolest co-host with the most, a fantastic father of two, and the home loan expert. Folks, put your hands together and welcome the incomparable Mr. Derek Chaney. How are you, Derek?
Doing great. It's a good day for a good day, boys.
It's a good day.
Got the hoppy coffee.
Oh yeah.
And when I saw our guest walk in today with that Chiefs jersey on, makes us all
happy, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Takes us right back to that Sunday night game, baby.
Classic. Yeah, but no, man, we got another great guest, a good friend of both of ours.
Good buddy of ours. Yeah. We've played too much golf with him.
Yeah.
And he kicks our ass every time.
Never too much.
Yeah. But Mr. Garrett Dollins here. But yeah, me and Garrett actually go way back. I think we worked together when he was in high school and
we were
I was in
OGs.
college. I mean, way back.
Oh, that's
then.
right. You guys worked the golf course. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
North Side for life.
That's right. North Side.
I'm not even from the North Side, but
Yeah,
Yes.
I got what you meant.
Yes.
claim it.
But yeah, Garrett, we know you pretty well. Some people might not. So if you will, tell us, who you are, what you do, give us your dad resume, how many kids you got, what are their ages, and which one's your favorite.
Okay. Well, I'm Garrett Dollins.
Hi,
Garrett Dollins.
I work for Meridian Title. I'm on a business development there, and been doing that for a couple of years now. So that's kind of my day job, if you say.
Yeah.
And then I have a wonderful wife, Leah, and she's beautiful. She's amazing, amazing mom. And then I have our daughter, McKinley, who is just over 2. And then we are expecting.
Hey.
Yeah. Going to have baby number 2 coming up in July.
11th is a good date. I think I've told you this already, but the 11th is a good date if you're thinking about
is
one.
probably better.
Yeah, we're gonna steer clear of that as much as possible. No, just kidding. No, the 16th is the due date. McKinley was actually born on her due date.
Really?
So,
that's awesome.
So we're gonna go for number 2, but if anything, I expect this one to be early.
Yeah,
baby
probably.
number 2, that kind of thing.
That makes sense.
We'll see. But yeah, it's a boy, so we're gonna have one of each.
Awesome, man.
There you
That's
go.
so much fun. Good for you.
Boys are fun. They're crazy, but they're fun, man.
I don't know. When we had McKinley, I thought, if we have another one, it'll probably be a girl. I just thought I'm a girl dad, and I thought that's all I'm gonna have.
Yeah.
And now I get to have both, so I'm pretty pumped.
Awesome.
So,
Awesome.
Yeah.
Exciting, man.
That's the dream, right? Like you get one of both, so you can experience both sides of that coin. That's awesome, man.
And then I get snipped, so I don't have any more.
Right.
Are you going to try to
say that?
You're more than welcome to talk about that. Are you going to try to plan that around like a big sports weekend? I'm thinking like Augusta, maybe. Try to plan that around that weekend so you can be just butt in chair watching Augusta nonstop the whole time, or
I don't know how well I can plan getting snipped. You know,
I hope you plan it. It's not just like a surprise.
Yeah,
You know?
wake up
Surprise! Ah!
Hey, babe.
yeah. I mean, if I don't see it coming, it might be better. I'm gonna be butt in my chair watching the Masters, whether I'm snipped or not.
Touche.
So, you
Touche.
know,
Yeah, that's fair.
it'll work out. So yeah, we'll do it sometime.
I have some buddies, and I don't know if I've talked about this on the show or not, but one of my really good friends, Nathan Carter, who will be a guest in the future, he and several of his friends all got snipped on the same weekend, and then they went and spent one day in each of the three guys' basements, and the wives rotated who was taking care of them. So like they were all in Nathan's basement, and Kristen was on duty for that day, and then the next day they all went to Justin's basement, and his missus was on duty, and they rotated around for like 3 different days while they were all healing, and they just had a pile of dudes and pizza and sitting around doing nothing.
That is
I'm trying to think
insane.
what the equivalent of that is.
They matched cycles except for the
Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
actually what I was
yes.
thinking. It's like, yeah, what's the equivalent of that for my wife? And it's like, yeah, you line up cycles. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That always made me laugh that they did that. That was a fun little story. So, so every episode we do a handful of different things, the same things. And first and foremost, we always like to start with tantrum of the week because it seems like everybody's got one, no matter how old your kids are. Did you have any good tantrums this week? Because you guys just got back from vacation. I assume that.
Disneyland.
Yeah, so McKinley is in like full on tantrum mode. She hit like 2 years and 2 months, and right about that time just turned into like Godzilla, but she's only 2 foot tall.
Yeah.
Like she is literally like, you know, she can drop to the floor and scream with the best of them. And
poor
in
sister.
fact, literally right before I walked out the door tonight, she dropped to the floor and let out bloody murder. And it really doesn't even matter, you know, what it is anymore. Like, I think this morning, Leah was like, hey, let's go get breakfast. Like something that should be happy. She loves breakfast. And that made her just scream in agony. Like, you are just tearing me apart. You know?
Why are you doing this to me, Mom? You're doing the things I like. No.
Yeah. But she's been really, really, you know, taken care of the last week because we've been on vacation. And so she's gotten everything that she wants. And now that we're back and she's not getting everything that she wants, every little thing seems to be a tantrum. So it's multiple.
It's gotta be tough.
Yeah. So
nice.
fun
times.
What about you? What'd you have this week? Any good tantrums?
We did last night. So last night we did went to play some sand volleyball, and I was like, you know what? It'd be great. Take the kiddos there. Take the wife. The kids will love to play in the sand while we're playing.
A terrible idea.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, it was.
That sounds like sand and diapers to me.
Oh yeah, well that's what. As soon as we get there, put Brody down. His face just goes right down into the sand and starts eating it. But he loved it. So
Of course he did.
It was fine.
it.
Yeah,
Real
he
dry
just
peanut
has
butter.
He had just a brown circle around his mouth from the sand. I'm like, dude, come on. But that wasn't the tantrum. Liam, I've mentioned it on here multiple times. Like, he's attached to me, and so we saw this coming from a mile away, and I go out there and I'm trying to play volleyball, just messing around with some friends, and he has to be there right at my side.
Sure.
But luckily, like, he wasn't like really losing it. You know, he's like, I just want to be out here, you know, just next to you. And I'm like, that's cool. You know, you can be out here and we can play and stuff. And then finally he found a buddy, started playing with past guest of ours, Dave. He started playing with
Ridge.
Ridge's brought some toys and they were playing together. So I was like, okay. I was like, this is going good. But then as soon as I got, you know, more than 10 feet away, he'd get upset and come running.
It's
over
that
by
bad,
me.
huh? He's
Yeah.
that attached.
Yeah,
I don't know
and
what
so-
that's like. She doesn't
And so
like me. Yeah.
we were like, okay, well, you know, leaving is going to be fun because we drove separate vehicles because we knew they weren't going to make it the whole time. So I was just going to stay a little bit longer, and Allie's going to leave and, you know, put them to bed, and I'd be home in a little bit. So we're leaving, and of course he doesn't want to leave volleyball because he's playing with his friends.
Of course not.
He
He's
just,
made a friend.
Like Garrett was saying, drops down in the sand, doing tantrum angels over here in the sand, just losing it. And I'm like, oh, great.
Limp body.
Yeah, exactly.
And of course, this is with all of our Rotary.
Tantrum angels.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
We're with all of our Rotary group, you know. And so I'm like, oh, these people are all judging me and my child.
Embarrassing me in front of my friends.
This is great. So I pick him up, and he's just crying, losing it. But then we get to the car, and I'm putting him in the car, and then he realizes I'm not hopping in the car with
Yeah,
him.
you're not coming
so
with.
Then it gets real bad. Luckily, I shut the door and I leave, but Allie told me, she's like, he screamed the whole way home, and then they obviously had to take a bath, and she's like, I had to physically hold him down in the bathtub to get the sand off.
Poor guy. That's tough.
So,
I think it was her problem.
Yeah, right, I know.
Thanks,
Yeah.
babe. Love you.
So,
Bye.
Yeah, so we won't be doing that for a while.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
That's
What do you
funny.
got?
We so Elsie has been sick. I alluded to that on the last show, and and in an effort to try and help with that, the doctor gave us some steroids to try and I don't really know what their diagnosis was, but they gave Elsie some steroids. Toddlers on steroids are exactly as bad as that sounds.
Is that a movie?
sounds fun.
Yeah.
Snakes on a plane.
Yes.
Toddlers on steroids.
So, yeah, toddlers on steroids
Yeah.
is the worst.
It's worse than snakes on a plane.
Yeah, no, yeah, like worse
That
than
was a
snakes on a
classic,
plane.
okay?
Actually, yeah. But she, dude, it's like she's reverted back to a 1-year-old. Like she's almost 2, but she's reverted back to a 1-year-old, just constant screaming, crying, and it's because she hurts. It's because those steroids have got her jacked up to 11. All of her emotions and all of her, she's a little girl. She's a little like 2-year-old. She can't control any of her emotions. Yeah. And it's dialed up to 11 with steroids and everything else that goes into it.
Yep.
And she goes
roid raging, huh?
literally. I mean, she goes from just inconsolably crying, screaming to and just running all over the house, like running around the living room. Kitty, kitty. And just running all over the house. It's the most ridiculous thing in the world. So I'm just excited that today was our last day of steroids.
Yeah.
And hopefully tomorrow will be a better day, because holy shit, it has not been very much fun.
Man.
And the first 2 days of them, we couldn't send her to daycare because she was still recovering.
Yeah.
And she had a pretty decent, like 100+ fever. And so it's like, you can't send a kid to daycare when they've got a fever. So she's
Plenty of people did.
no, well, yeah, touche. Which is actually how Elsie got sick in the first place.
Back
But
in my day, we
we-
we had 110.
yeah, we went on a 105-degree fever. Walked butt naked up,
Butt hill.
walked butt naked uphill both ways, or whatever it is. But yeah, we definitely are glad that she's going to be hopefully back to normal when we get through all this stuff, because holy shit, I don't think I'm ever going to let the pediatrician, like, unless they just insist on giving her steroids again, I don't think I'm going to try to push back on it, because this has been an absolute nightmare. Like, I'm making jokes about it, but it's actually been awful.
Yeah.
Just terrible.
I don't think really our kids have got steroids too much when they've been sick. It's
All been antibiotics, right? Like, that's
Yeah.
what we got mostly.
well, yeah, that
in the past.
or it's like it's the viral infection where they're like, oh, you just got to wait it out, basically. Give
Yeah.
them some Tylenol and wait it out.
You're screwed for 3 days. Yeah.
So got it. Avoid steroids.
Yeah.
Done.
Maybe your kids will have a better response to the meds than else did, but holy shit, she's been a wild child without it.
So is that your dad hack too? Avoid.
Well, kind of. Yeah. I mean, I can jump right into that dad hack if you want, but we also try to do dad hacks every time. And I'm going to say a phrase that you guys have never heard before. This will be just a completely new thing to you, I'm sure. But happy wife, happy life. That's my dad hack. This is groundbreaking. I'm sure you guys have never heard that bit of advice
It's a good
before.
little rhyme. Though.
Yeah.
Happy wife, happy life. I have decided that because my wife does the lion's share of the emotional support for my daughter, and that's just what she's really, really good at. And she's good at picking up what words she's saying when I can't understand a word she's saying. And she's just way more in tune with it than I am. But I can do the dishes real good, and I can do the laundry real good. And so that's what I've just decided over the last, particularly like when Elsie's been sick and she only wants to be on live.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I'm just going to live and die by the adage that every parent, grandparent, and great-grandparent has ever said to us, happy wife, happy life. And so I'm just going to go do the dishes and do the laundry and shut up and get out of the way to try and keep the peace and try and keep the emotions down. Exactly.
Yeah.
Build
Your
up those
currency.
dad bucks. So, like I said, this is nothing groundbreaking here, but I'm just going to go ahead and say it's real. Happy wife, happy life is real. And I'm just leaning into it this week.
Yeah, no, it's easy to overlook, how much, the spouses or the wives do when we're at work all day.
Yep.
And you get home and, the house is messy, the dishes are dirty, whatever. And you're like, gosh, like, what's going on? But then you're like, oh yeah, you're dealing with two little hellions.
Yeah, you've been taking care of kids.
It's like, you just got to like look back on that and be like, you know what? She's been busy too.
Give a little grace.
Yeah,
exactly. Give a little grace.
It's different than what you were doing.
It's a full-time job.
It is.
100%. 100%.
But yeah.
What about you? Do you have any dad hacks? Any favorite piece of dad advice you've received?
I probably have
like
a ton that I cannot think of, but one of them I would say I learned this at Disney World. Is to always carry a Uncrustable with you no matter what.
Pocket snacks, baby.
Yeah,
Pocket snacks.
Well, snacks, by themselves, but Uncrustable because, my daughter, she just decides things that she did really like to eat. That day, she does not like to eat. But the PB&J is a constant steady. It's
that is our
faithful.
one constant in our life, huh?
I still like them. Can't blame her.
Yeah. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
She'll rock the PB&J. So yeah, there is always one in the backpack.
I like that.
So
I kind of like that. Find the one thing that is the standby, and just make sure you have that on hand. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Nice. That's solid.
Liam's are chips right now.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Crunchy Cheetos.
Chips.
Yeah, we ours is goldfish. So as
Yeah.
long as we got goldfish in the bag, we're good.
Yeah.
At least a little bit. That's
Mine's
not very
Sour
good.
Patch, so.
Well, that's for you. Yeah, I know. We know how to keep you happy.
Oh man. But I feel like this my dad hack kind of probably relates to a little bit of you just got back from family vacay, and if you're in a very masculine dad like Bryant is, don't
Skippy.
Don't be too cool to wear the baby carrier.
Oh yeah.
Right. I avoided that for the longest time.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I'm not going to be one of those dads that's wearing a baby carrier. Well, then we went to the Discovery Center with the boys a while back, and I was like, there's no way I want to be able to keep up with two of them.
Mm-hmm.
Strapped up Brody in the baby carrier. Was able to chase Liam around. Brody loved it because he's just bouncing around. Liam loves it because I can keep up with him. And I was like,
perfect.
I get why people do this now.
Do you have like the Bjorn one? Do you have like the tactical dad baby carrier one, or like?
It's gray and it buckles.
Yeah. That's why that's actually
I'm
pretty sure that's the same one we have. It's gray and it buckles. Yeah, I think
I
that's
found
the
it
same
in a
deal.
box in my garage. Yeah.
I wanted the one that has all like the mil spec like loops on it and stuff. It looks like a military. It looks like a plate carrier.
Have you seen the
like,
diaper bags that are like the military?
Exactly.
Bags?
Yeah, it's that same brand.
Dactical.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Tickle. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
But it does. It looks like a plate carrier, but you put your kid in there instead of an armor plate.
That's
I wanted one. Liv said no.
She's not wearing it.
Yeah, exactly.
Happy wife, happy life.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay?
That's why I didn't argue.
Come on.
So you've alluded to you just got back from Disney, and I want to talk more about that. But I also know that you guys like doing Wonders of Wildlife here in Springfield with your kids and stuff. I know you've got some stories surrounding that. Tell me about Wonders of Wildlife and some of the things that you guys like to do there.
So, I assume both of you have been to Wonders of Wildlife, right?
Yeah.
Number one aquarium in the
Number
world.
one aquarium in the world.
Are you season pass holders though?
I am not yet. Elsie's
No?
we haven't gotten there
Okay.
yet.
We probably should be as much as we can.
Yeah. So you're missing out right now, right? So I've been a card carrying season pass holder for I think 3 years now. So I'm official. I've got my plastic laminated cards and everything. So it's kind of a funny story. So ever since McKinley was little, I love being a dad, but I'm not the world's best dad, and so it's harder for me, to kind of get into certain things about being a dad, and so there's a lot of things that scared me whenever I was a first, early dad, and so one thing that Leah, kind of really encouraged me to do, and I'm sure she'd love for me to find more things, but she encouraged me to find, one thing that I can find that I can really relate with McKinley on.
Cool.
And so Leah only works a couple days a week, and every once in a while she has to work Saturdays. So when she worked Saturdays, what else do I have to do? I'm hanging out with McKinley. Sure. So we started to go to Wonders of Wildlife. Awesome. And so it kind of became this kind of joke within my family because, she'd work one Saturday a month and every single time. Where are you going?
We're going
I'm
to Wonders.
Going to Wonders of Wildlife. And, at first, McKinley's 3-4 months, she can't even really see that well yet, and I'm like,
exactly.
Yeah, so I'm strolling through Wonders of Wildlife with this brand new baby, and people are probably looking at me because I'm by myself, right?
Yeah.
And she can't even really understand what's going on. It was really for me, to try and cope. But
Sure.
it's kind of funny as time has gone on, and we go all of the time, and so she's just kind of grown, and she went from she can't even see to then she was, to where she could see and look around, and her eyes would light up, and then then she would be able to sit up in her stroller, and now she's at the point where she can just walk through the whole thing.
Awesome.
And every single time it's this fun experience of we walk through, and she has these favorite exhibits that she has, and she'll just go like running to the penguins now.
No.
And so
That's so cool.
it's kind of just
good
this,
for you.
it's this experience that we've kind of grown together, and my family makes fun of me because I go there all of the time. I've probably been there over 50 times this year.
Wow.
Yeah, dang.
But it's our thing, and it's what we do.
Yeah.
And she knows before we even walk inside. She sees Bass Pro and she knows.
Yep.
That's where we're going, that's what we're doing, and she loves it and I love it, so it's a chance to bond. So
Good for you, dude.
Yeah.
I love that because that's
Yeah.
we've talked about that before, where it's like trying to find that thing, whatever it is, whether it's going to
Right.
Wonders of Wildlife or it's
Yeah.
trying to. I mean, like my dad used to take me to Smitty's every Saturday morning to go have the breakfast buffet. And, like that was our thing as a kid. So like I love that. I love that you're building that with her. I'm trying to figure out what that looks like for Elsie and I. For me and Elsie, and I'm trying to figure out what that looks like for us because I want to do those kinds of things. I just don't know what it is yet.
Right.
And I got to figure out what that thing is, and I don't want to steal yours, so I guess I got to figure something else out.
Most people get tired of Wonders of Wildlife after a few times.
Nah.
To me, it's new every time.
Yeah, that's awesome, though.
But then too, it's like seeing your kids light up. I mean, who cares what you're looking at?
Yeah, this isn't for me. Yeah.
Right.
Those
Right.
kind of things are not for me.
I mean, it's kind of for me.
Yeah.
I love it,
Well-
but it also is for her. So.
But no, to kind of piggyback and add on to what you just said there, as far as like finding stuff that you both can relate to, especially now that you have another one on the way. Like, because me and Liam, whenever we just had one kid, it was super easy for us to bond and find stuff. But then you have your second kid, and it's like hard to find that individual time with each one because they're both always there. And shoot, this was just last weekend. I had a chance where it's just me and Brody. And I took him to Wonders of Wildlife, so it's funny that you said that.
Awesome.
Yeah, well, we went out to breakfast.
get that
and then,
pass.
Yeah, and then we went to Wonders of Wildlife, and it was just the coolest thing, like, because that was probably really the first, like, really extended one-on-one time that me and him had.
Cool.
Since he's been born, so for a year, and so yeah, I'd strongly encourage any dad that has multiple kids, find something that each kid is into,
Cool.
and do that one-on-one time with
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it was awesome. Just me and him hung out, and then Allie and Liam went and did their thing and hung out, and so it was just
Cool.
It was super cool.
Yeah.
That's where I want to find a thing or our thing like you're talking about, but right now I'm taking full advantage of, like, my wife has a book club, and my wife has like junior league and stuff, and so there are a couple of nights a month where it's just Dad and Elsie, and so I make a point, and it's kind of become fun where I go eat with her out. I make sure we're leaving the house and we're gonna go eat at a restaurant.
Yeah.
And we've talked about this on the show ad nauseum, that's the most terrifying thing in the world, at least to me, because for a little while until she gets used to eating in public, because it's just grabbing stuff and going whee and throwing it in the air.
And by yourself, that's the hard.
Sure.
Yeah.
So we've just last week we went over to the local Mexican place and dipping a chip in some queso and handing it my daughter and seeing her eyes just go, oh, what is this and why am I not having more of it? Put it in my face. Right. Hurry up. And it's just, God, it's so much fun. And she was just hamming it up with the wait staff. Because she's this little cherubic baby with big old eyes and a big old head. Yeah, she's got a big old head and
Can
big
we
old
pause
eyes.
for a definition, please?
Like a little cherubic.
Can we
Yeah.
spell that too? Is it
Yeah.
CHERUBIC, cherubic.
And can I get the origin?
Latin. I honestly
Is that
don't
a
know.
Star Wars character?
But whatever, she's got the big old head and the big old eyes, and so all everybody loves her, and the wait staff guys were all just having a blast because every time they walk by, she'd go, high five,
High five.
High five. And she wants a high five from all the wait staff. And so by the end of the night, they're just parading back and forth across the table. Boom, high five. Boom, high five. High five. High five.
Just made her night.
God, it's so much fun. But I love that you guys have that one thing, because that is something that I certainly want to figure out what that is for us.
I mean, it kind of sounds like you know.
Mexican restaurant.
Yeah,
Sounds like what it is,
going
you
to
know?
our restaurants, which is actually, frankly, a lot of fun. We've also done a lot of like Elsie and Dad walks, where I just go load her into the stroller and we just go like walk a mile and a half, just 45 minutes of us just wandering around the neighborhood trying to get her to, mostly just trying to get her to sleep. Let's be honest, but she likes being outside. It's a little freaking cold to do that right now, but that has been kind of fun too.
All right, Garrett. Well, we've after we've been crying here. For
Oh my
minutes,
God! For those of you playing the home game, we just tried to start this podcast for like 5 different minutes and could not stop laughing the whole time.
Good night.
Good
I
grief!
got tears in my eyes. Gosh.
Oh.
Anyways, let's be serious for 5 minutes here.
Come on, dang it! Let's go, Garrett.
You
right.
you just mentioned that you got back from big fun family trip
Yeah.
at
Doing the Disney World.
Yeah.
Disney World down
Land.
in Florida.
World.
World.
Yeah.
I always get those two mixed up.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I've never been
It's-
to either one, so
It's the D word that nobody wants to talk about.
Attaboy.
the big D.
The big
Oh, the
D.
The
Yeah.
big D.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
But
yeah.
yeah, you probably got some stories from going down there, right?
This is trip 2, so you've probably got all kinds of
yeah,
stuff.
you
You've
did.
been
Yeah.
twice
That
now.
is the
Well,
time.
yeah, trip 2 within the not the calendar year,
But
but
12 months.
Yeah, yeah,
Which one
the
was
12
that?
months.
1 or 2?
Yeah, we're gonna go with the first time was better.
Okay.
More support. You went with family, right?
Yeah, yeah. The first time last June, the whole family wanted to go. So there was 12 of us. So we all shipped up and shipped out and went down there and spent a week down there as an entire family. And that's a trip in and of itself that you have to do, but it is
Cool.
It's an experience, you know, because when you get 12 family members there and, you know, Disney's not a vacation. You are going down there and you are working. If you have kids, you are working.
Volunteering.
And
You don't get
yeah.
paid for it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's
And
volunteer
so,
work.
yeah, so you know, eventually, probably about day 3 is when you start to get the bickering, and you're going to fight with somebody, whether it's mom, dad, mother-in-law, father-in-law,
Sure.
sister-in-law.
It's inevitable.
Everybody's fuses get real
It
short.
is
Yeah.
inevitable.
Yeah, you're gonna fight with somebody. You know, you just hope that you can make up afterwards.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's an awkward flight home if not. But no, that one was an experience by itself. And then we just got back on Monday
Awesome.
from going second time. So yeah, this time we did just the 3 of us, or 4 of us. I guess Gatlin's in the tummy still.
Yeah,
But yeah, we just did our little family kind of as a last hurrah before Gatlin gets here. Kind of
Baby
our
moon?
last, yeah, a little bit. You know,
Yeah,
like
but
I
we
said,
brought
not-
the other kid.
Yeah, not a vacation. And I also had my kid. But yeah, it was nice to take a trip with just McKinley is kind of like our final thing with her. We were gonna do the beach, and I was like, no, let's just go back to Disney. She loved it there, and we'll do that. You know, so I don't know. Should I get into my
Sure.
experience? With
Yeah.
this?
Tell us about it. We want to know
Tell
because
us
I've
why
got questions
the
about
first
it
trip
too.
was
I've got questions
more
about it
fun.
too, but I want you to talk about it
Yeah.
as much as you want to. Also,
Yeah. So, you know, so originally, you know, I wanted to share, you know, good, happy things, you know,
Sure.
about going to Disney World, right? Because it's the happiest place on earth.
That's
Boy, is it
just
ever.
ask me.
Yeah. Yeah. So, you know, we get down there, and everything is like, it's like the most perfect trip that I've ever been on. We get down there, it's 78 degrees,
Nice.
no wind, just beautiful outside. You know, we get to our hotel and it's just more beautiful than I even pictured it. And we're going to the parks and we're like getting on like the things that we want to get on. And when we need to take a bus, the bus is just waiting for us. So like everything is going perfect.
Yeah.
And
Too
I-
perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I should have known. Like I had that like spidey sense going on. I should have just like known, right? And so we're on park day number 3. We're at Animal Kingdom. Had a great morning there. Did the safari ride. It was awesome.
Cool.
Ate lunch at the Rainforest Cafe and went back, took a nap. We came back to the park and it kind of got a little hot that afternoon. So I go to get some waters for Leah and McKinley, and I come back, and McKinley has puked right in the middle of the park. And so, as a parent, you kind of get used to that, but it's never fun when it happens, especially when you're on vacation at Disney World.
In public,
So, you're in that awkward phase. So we're thinking maybe she just, got overheated, what have you. So we are like, we're going to go back to the hotel. So we get out of the park, we get on the bus. The bus ride back, I've never met a worse bus driver in my life, shaking us around. So she pukes on the bus. Oh, no. So it's a full bus. That's even more awkward. It's just terrible.
On anybody? Puking on anybody?
Leah. Yeah.
Yes,
all over Leah. Yeah. So that was fun. And we get off. We go to our hotel room. She pukes again, and again.
Shoot.
And again, and I think she puked like 4 or 5 times, and finally we had to call 911.
Yeah.
They don't have like on-site medical at Disney World, which Disney, if you're watching, that's a dumb idea. You should have somebody. Yeah, you should have somebody like on staff. That's medical.
Wild that they don't. I almost can't believe that. That's crazy.
I was shocked. But so in that instance, we call 911 and the paramedics show up. And so they told us that they thought she was going to be okay. And so we were like, that's fine. We'll just watch her. And so they leave. She then pukes 3 more times. And so at that point we were worried, like something might be really wrong or dehydration or something like that. So we call back. We end up going to the ER that night. So we're at the ER at Disney World. Yeah. Which is no fun. They give her some medication, and on the ambulance ride over there, so Leah's pregnant, right?
Yeah.
She gets sick, and I'm thinking, it's motion sickness.
Sure.
She's pregnant, and so we get to the ER. She is now puking in the trash can right next to McKinley, who's sitting in the bed, and I'm sitting next to her, going, what is going on?
Yeah, this is the worst.
When's it gonna hit me?
Yeah, this is awful. Yeah, that's the scariest moment ever. Like your wife and daughter are both sick, and you're just set there to go. It's like you're in the
T minus how long?
Yeah, you're in the gallows. Like you can see the noose in front of you, and know it's coming. And so that's like the worst part. But yeah, so now they're both sick. We get discharged. We go back to the hotel room, and for the next 3 days, we are stuck in our tiny 400 square foot hotel room with both my wife and daughter, who are puking and other things. And so, what was supposed to be this amazing, awesome trip to kind of, finish off being just a single parent or, having one kid, has now turned into this just utter nightmare.
Yeah.
And I think, it was probably one of the toughest experiences I've had as a dad. And it kind of seems trivial to say that, because we've been really lucky with McKinley. She hasn't had like a lot of really bad things. She hasn't been super sick a whole lot. Like she's been a really good baby, and parenting her has been, for the most part, pretty easy.
Sure.
But that trip and being stuck in that room was so difficult because, you take all those comforts from home and the ease of home. You have a car, you have family, you have, just
take that stuff for granted, man.
Yeah, you take it for granted. And then we're stripped away of all that. We don't have anything, and nothing to comfort her. And, you're stuck in this room. You start to go crazy.
Yeah.
You really do start to go crazy. And on top of the fact that, she is super sick, and then, we're worried about her getting dehydrated and all these different things. And I was probably close to a mental breakdown at a couple different times. I cried in our room. I believe it was like Friday night, and she hadn't peed, and I was worried about her being dehydrated. Yep. And, Lee and I just literally had to lean on each other more than we really ever have as parents. And so I think I've tried to take the positive out of all of the whole situation, because we spend a lot of money to go down there, right? It's not cheap, and to have half of it, completely ruined. So you try to see the silver linings, and I think that was one of them. And I think that's one of the best things that has come out of it, is that, it wasn't the way that we wanted it to go, and it really sucked to be sick.
Mm-hmm.
But I learned more about how Leah and I can like work together as a team, and
That's awesome.
How
you know,
awesome. Yeah.
yeah, and just be like that support system for each other when that's all we had,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and to see McKinley, you know, be that sick, and just to watch how Leah would comfort her, I would comfort Leah, and then all of a sudden things would get bad for me, and she would comfort me, and McKinley would lean on her, you know, and we just kind of we suffered through it together, and we got through it, and you know, got home, and you know, now I leave her tonight, and she is happy as a button, and you know, running around, and you know, it's just, you know, it's back to normal. So, you know, it was a bad experience this time, just because of being sick. But you know, you learn things, and I think that's, you know, kind of what I've tried to take the positive out of it.
I was gonna say, I'm proud of you for having that mentality that we're gonna treat this. Yeah, this sucked.
Yeah.
But we're going to treat it as a learning experience.
Right.
We're going to treat it as we learned how to be parents together on this trip. We learned how to lean on each other. We learned to, as we've said before, embrace the suck and learn how to get through these things together. I mean, that's obviously you would have rather not had to deal with it, but like, good for you for finding the silver lining, finding, frankly, because you needed it, it sounded like. But like, good for you for finding that in each other. That's awesome.
I mean, so I think the people that know me best, and it's not my brightest moments by any means, but I can have a bit of a quick temper in some aspects of my life. And so, you know, certain things will make me mad. And so that's kind of just a learning thing as a parent. And I think this helped me with that. It's like, I could have really, really gotten mad about that, but I chose to try and really have a really positive attitude about it.
Sure.
And you know, it was tough.
Can't even imagine.
Yeah, but I feel like you have to have that outlook on something, especially like that type of scenario, because that is so out of your control.
Right.
I mean, what the heck can you do? So there's no need to get. I mean, it's easy to say now. Hindsight's 20/20, right?
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, there's no need to get like upset and mad about it and sulk at it, because it's like you couldn't have done anything to prevent that.
Well, and what good is that going to do?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Nothing.
Like,
Nothing.
if you're trying to deal with a shitty situation, making it worse isn't going to make it any better. No, not at all.
Great way to put it.
Yeah. You know, like trying to, So,
Yeah.
So you've been to Disneyland 1.5 times.
You
Disney
keep calling
World.
it, it's
sorry.
World. Yeah.
You've been to Disney World 1.5 times. Do you have any coaching for people that are gonna go? What to bring? What to do? What to buy? What to not buy? You know, any of those kind of things. Obviously, don't get sick is probably one of them.
So I'm gonna plug my sister-in-law.
Do it.
Just really quick. So Danny Stoddard, she has Danny's Destinations.
Nice. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
What's up, Danny?
Yeah, so she's a
Nice.
travel agent now. But so she planned like the big part of our trip, right? You know, so like doing all the booking and all that kind of stuff. So she was great. So, you know, if you're looking to go to Disney World, you need somebody, she can help you. But, you know, as far as like the planning side, one thing I will say is that it's like that question of like, oh, when are you going to have kids? Except for like with Disney World, it's, you know, why are you taking your 2-year-old to Disney World? And we would get it all the time, which I understand it. Like I understand the question, you know, but one thing I will say is
my family, fuck you.
well, yeah.
Why not? Yeah.
You know, one thing I'll say is like go anytime. Like if you financially can go, like just do it, and it's the right time. Like go, like because when we went in June, McKinley was only 1.5 years.
Sure.
And she couldn't ride hardly anything. But we could still. There's so much to do there. You know, the characters and the castle and everything else. You know, she can still have a great time, and we're gonna have those memories. You know, Lee and I, and so that was the biggest thing. It's like, you know, she won't remember this time very much, which hopefully she won't remember.
Yeah,
you know,
no kidding.
But you know, you get those experiences as parents, so it doesn't matter if you have a really little one. You know, just go ahead and go, because it's so much fun, and there's so much to do for every single person. It's a workout and it's not a vacation.
Sure,
but it's so much fun. So go. As far as packing and like advice and stuff like that, you know, I would definitely say pack your patient pants. So
new
Yeah,
brand?
yeah. As a guy, as a fellow short-tempered person, I think I probably need that too.
So no matter like how patient you think you are, you're going to learn some patience because every single thing there is a line. You want to go to the bathroom, it's a line. You want to get on the bus, it's a line. You want to get food, it's a line. You want to get on a ride, it's like 6 lines. So,
It's a line to wait on the line to get into the line.
Yeah. And my other like the biggest like piece of advice is, so when you're down there, you ride a bus to everything if you stay on property, right? So your resort to the parks and back. And so these buses, are usually packed and they have like the handrails and stuff like that, And so if you're gonna be riding the bus as a dad, you really got to work on that core before you go because you're going to be like holding on like with one arm up, holding on to the thing, and then you've got your stroller like between your legs and you're just like flowing with the bus.
Yeah.
So, you got to work on that core because you're going to use it.
awesome.
So yeah.
I guess I need to go get my papoose out or whatever, like he was talking about too, to make
Here
sure
we go.
to lug
with
him
words
around.
I do not understand.
Well, whatever the baby carrier thing. That's
I was
called
like,
a papoose, isn't it?
I was like, I have no idea what you're
You know
saying.
what? I'm gonna have
what
like
it is.
I'll take
It's a
Star
baby
Wars
carrier.
characters for 500 again.
Yeah, papoose is no kidding. That's actually a pretty good point.
Papoose? Can we-
Excuse me
yeah.
while I Google papoose
like, can
real
you
quick because
spell
I'm
that
pretty
one
sure
for me too?
that I don't know how to spell.
Yeah.
I just know how to say it.
Sounds like a boudet.
Right. But
That's not what it is.
oh man, but
I wipe my papoose.
Yeah, exactly. That's a whole different thing. Well, according to the internet, papoose is a rapper, so maybe I'm wrong. I'm sorry. Please continue.
Big papoose.
What's his best like singer?
No, we're not getting into that. I don't know.
I mean like rapper like
As in like a guy who does rap
like
music.
with an
like
R,
hip hop.
how-
yeah. The guy who does rap music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, kind of.
It's a hard R.
Yeah.
Hard R. Yeah.
Great.
Hit on what you was talking about there as far as advice when you're not only when you're going on vacation. I've never been to Disneyland World, wherever it is that we're talking about here, but just going out in general with kids. As
Boom, papoose, child carrier. All right, I'm good. I just had to make sure I got it. Sorry. Please continue.
I got the microphone here. Shut up.
Shut up.
But no,
He's trying to finally talk.
Right? I know. Oh,
Poor guy.
Anyways, yeah, Brian, just shut up, man. You're making me lose focus here. But yeah, as dads, we always have this picture in our head of what going out to eat's going to look like.
Oh yeah.
What going to a park's going to look like. Going wherever going. I'm sure before you guys went to Disney World, you were like, oh yeah, this is what's going to happen.
Had a vision
This
of
is
what it was going to be.
look like.
Yeah.
Once you have kids, just throw that vision out the door.
Oh,
out the
100%.
window.
Oh.
It never goes as you're planning. It's funny. Me and Allie have like just a running joke right now. We're like, okay, this is how it's pictured in our head. Scratch all that out.
Yeah. Draw a line through
Now
it.
we're like, this is like the worst case scenario. What's going to happen? And then you can't lose.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even
You
if
set
it
the
goes
expectation.
So
yeah.
low. Even if it goes slightly better, that's still a win.
Well, it's
Yeah.
like those memes, expectations versus reality or whatever.
For real.
Yeah.
Well, I used to be very, very like aware of like what other people in restaurants were like thinking of me.
Sure.
And now I don't care.
Yeah. Oh, we've had this talk before too.
Now I'm
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
listen,
do
I
not
got a
give a
kid,
shit.
and she's gonna do what she does, and I don't know you, so I really don't care.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
I'm more worried about my daughter than I am you. I don't care about
Right.
And
you.
the parents there, they know. They've been there.
Exactly. You just
Yeah.
exchange like one knowing
What
glance.
is the
The Hunger Games thing. That's exactly right. I volunteer as tribute. I volunteer as tribute.
we are tribute. That's what we are.
That's actually you're not wrong. We are tribute in that case.
Jeez.
Oh, that's good. What else did we have to talk about? I'm trying to think if we missed anything because we had a handful.
Well, we always talk about poop.
We
with,
got to talk
parents
about
with little
poop.
kids.
I mean, yeah. So, do you have any poop stories?
Poop is a segment.
Poop is a segment. Truly, we should probably just start doing a poop segment on the show, just because it has become a
We should
reoccurring.
make it the second segment.
Yeah, exactly. Nice. It's just a
That's my
reoccurring
dad
thing.
joke.
Yeah, I did it.
Man, I wasted
It's the second one. Do you have any funny stories about that kind of stuff, like poop and all its glory and all that, and any of that kind of stuff?
Yeah. So whenever I became a dad, or like leading up to it, I never understood how much my life would revolve around poop.
Yep.
Whether
Reach.
it's whether it is her pooping, whether it is her not pooping, the color of the poop, the consistency of the poop,
Whether or not it's on my shirt.
I have not had that, projectile pooping.
Yeah.
I've not experienced that luckily yet. So, we'll cross
Knock
our
on
fingers.
wood that
But
for you.
Just every day is just poop.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so McKinley, when she was little, she had I don't know. I don't even know if it's a thing, but like she just has had like constipation or she doesn't poop, great, whatever. So we constantly have to have her on like Miralax and different things. And so we are very like in tune with her bowel movements.
Isn't that hilarious how your life can revolve around something like that?
Yeah. So that's kind of just where we are in the day to day, So it like right now we got back, and she had this sickness and took medication, and so now she swung from like way too loose to not at all. Yeah. And so and so now we are
exactly
we are currently on poop watch. Actually, I probably should check my phone to see if I've gotten the poop signal. I'm really hoping for a text that says I have pooped. But our life just revolves around poop, and it's just kind of I've had to accept that. You know, I used to be really grossed out. Like my family growing up, like we were not like the tell each other, because I'm an only kid.
Yeah.
We were not like the tell each other like all like the gross crap and just everything. Leah's family, like they tell each other about
everything,
their poop, like as adults.
Yeah.
And so I've had to kind of get used to that.
Experience for you. Sure.
And just get used to with like the way oversharing of everything. And so
I get it.
Now I'm not as freaked out about poop anymore.
Well, I mean, this is a full circle experience for us because we literally talked about this exact conversation in our very first episode as one of the things that were most surprising about parenthood for us. It was on my list, and it was how much my life would revolve around shit.
Yep.
I mean, that was literally one of the things that I talked about in the very first episode, because I'm in this exact same boat you were. I was so surprised about it's going to be on me. It's going to be on my hands. I'm going to be thinking about when her next one is. I'm going to be picking up another person and sniffing their backside to see if there's poop in their pants. How is this my life now? It is so wild that that's still the case. Yeah. It cracks me up.
Yeah, you talked about, you said color of poop, and it just made me think of a story real quick.
What is it? What do you got?
You were at our Super Bowl
together.
Yeah. And we had cookies there. And
oh, no, I know exactly where this is going.
And some of them had like the football field on it and covered in green frosting.
And he was all about it. You should have seen it. When I walked into their house, Liam had it. It looked like he had a green goatee.
Yeah.
It just, from the corners of his mouth straight down, it was just green.
Yeah, well, he ate like 2 or 3 of those cookies. And so the next day, he's like, I got to go poo-poo. So I'm like, okay. And so we go to the bathroom, and he lays one, and he gets up, and it's like bright green. And I'm like, that's not normal, but
something's wrong.
Did you pull up the Google poop color chart? Because I know everybody has, right?
Because it didn't click to me. I'm like, oh, well, he ate green frosting,
Right.
But it's like just
what is wrong with my kid?
Right, that's my initial thought. And I'm like, oh shit, like
literally,
no pun intended there. But and Liam looks back at it, and he's like, it's green, like my cookies.
Got it. Thanks for pointing that out, brother.
Like, pointing it out. The fact that you got that before I did, like.
Oh, that's hilarious. I have a story, a quick one.
Take it.
So we were at church one night, I think, and so we dropped off McKinley at preschool or whatever it is, the nursery, and so we get done and we go to pick her up, and the teacher comes to the door, and she was like, McKinley was great, but we did cupcakes for a snack, and she ate her cupcake. And then she stole one from another kid and ate theirs. And then she also picked one up off the floor and ate that. So she had 3 cupcakes.
So she's not going to sleep for 3 days.
Right. Well, not only that, but I'm like looking at the teacher, and I'm like, so you're telling me about this. So you obviously saw it. We didn't intervene.
Yeah, we're not going to intervene. We're not going to try to intercept these things going into our mouths.
Just watched it happen.
No, that's fine.
So she had 3 cupcakes in one sitting. So
were they all one color, which then resulted in some strangely colored poops?
Yeah, I don't know about that, but yeah, I'm sure we had poop issues that night. Yeah, so we're back to poop. Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny.
Well, it's not an official segment that we have, I guess, on our show here, Garrett. But
Yeah.
But one thing we hit on a lot are, what hobbies are you into that maybe you want to get your kids into, or what hobbies that are your kids into that you like, So I know McKinley's, you said, 2 now? So she's probably starting to have some
develop
hobbies,
some of that
right?
stuff.
She has one hobby that is like her main hobby. You want to know what it is?
Yes, please. I'm on the edge of my
Suspense.
seat.
It is taking anything that is like a toy chest or has stuff in it and taking it out.
So the de-cleaner.
Yeah. She is an
She's the opposite of a
Yeah.
professional organizer.
she's an
the organizer,
expert at undoing any kind of pickup. Yeah,
That's good.
So
I love
cool.
it.
Yeah, that's her big hobby right now.
Are there any things that you have as a hobby that you're excited to introduce to your kids when they get older, or anything like that?
Yeah, of course. I think everybody who knows me knows that I love golf.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
been a
You're a
huge
big
part of
shocker.
my life.
Yeah.
So I do it all of the time. So I really would like to get both McKinley and Gatlin, into golf, whenever they, get a little bit older. And, we've already got McKinley a little set.
Sure.
And actually at Disney World last week, there was a little set like out in a yard, and we kind of played around with it and stuff
Sweet.
like that. So that would be like the ultimate, like, make dad's heart happy,
Oh, yeah.
But, if they don't ever get into golf, it wouldn't be the worst thing ever, but hopefully they do.
That's golf, and golf is weird like that because it's one of those sports where you can introduce it to a kid when they're young, like Dad did with me, and then they quit really young, like I did, and then they can still pick that game back up later in life and still play a lifetime of golf, just minus those handful of years in the middle.
Oh yeah, 100%. Well, in kind of selfishly, I really hope that McKinley gets into it because, like, girls who play golf, like, you don't even have to be good, and you can get a full ride scholarship.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah,
So,
yeah,
like-
scholarships
like-
for golf are,
like-
are big.
Yeah, like, be my meal ticket, please.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I would love to not have to pay for college, sweetheart. That would be awesome.
Right.
Please
yeah.
and thank you.
So yeah. There's some selfishness there.
We
so.
did the same thing. Elsie had a crib in her bedroom and a Fisher-Price set of golf clubs, and that was the only thing in her room for quite some time before she even got here. So I know that. Do you guys?
Well,
you guys have?
well, it's funny. You guys both got girls, and I too got Liam a little golf set when he was like probably 1.5, 2 years old.
Nice.
They're a little bit harder on the golf clubs than girls are, I'm assuming, because
That's fair.
There's like
Yeah, I bet you're
5
right.
golf clubs in there, and little dude just like beats the crap out of them, so they're all dented up, so you can't use them. Balls, there's holes in the balls, and then like the little carrier has little wheels on it.
Wheels are
The
gone.
wheels lasted maybe one day.
Yeah. I don't think we have the golf balls anymore. I think those were gone
Don't-
within a day.
Again, don't set those expectations too high with your children, okay?
Did you guys do?
You gotta give them time.
Do you guys have like a little basketball hoop or anything
Yeah.
for the kids?
Yeah.
I assume like the little tyke or whatever
Yep.
to Fisher Price.
Yep, we got that.
Awesome.
Yep.
Okay. 'Cause
They love it. Yeah.
I really hope that my kids are into basketball or just any kind of sports. Like
Right.
I was really sports oriented,
Sure.
and Leah likes sports, and so she's better at basketball than I ever was, So I hope just that they're into sports because the whole small town sports, going to basketball games. That's kind of like a dream of mine, right?
Yeah.
If they're not, that's fine, but I hope so.
But it is also, it's one of those things where you can learn a lot from playing sports.
Oh, yeah.
The competitive, the work hard, the reaping the benefits, learning how to lose.
Yeah.
Learning how
don't
learning
lose.
how to pick yourself up from failure.
What's that like, Brian?
What,
Yeah, I don't know.
as a representative of the loser community,
How do you spell that?
Smart ass. Oh, love it. Well,
Origin, Brian's house.
yeah, exactly. So I'm gonna send you both a postcard with cherubic on it.
Please do.
So let's talk dad jokes, boys. I mean, we've gotten kind of towards the end of our time here, but I would be remiss. There's another vocabulary word if we didn't do some dad jokes, and I'm gonna just mix it up here. DC, what kind of dad joke did you bring for us this week?
Oh, okay. At first, I thought you was leading into your joke, but I do got a good one.
No, I want you to tell me your
no
joke.
story. I feel like my stories might be getting a little obnoxious from my jokes. So.
No.
So I'm like, you know what? Let's just cut to the chase here. What do sprinters eat before their big race?
What do sprinters eat before their big race? I don't know.
Nothing. They fast.
Boo.
Fast.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
I feel like
Did
it'd be
you-
even better in like a Jamaican accent.
Oh, dang it.
That
Missed my
fast.
opportunity. Can we redo that?
I love
Hey, fast,
it.
man.
Did you bring one? Do you have a good dad joke
so,
that you like?
So actually, yeah, no, I kind of did not. But see, the thing is like, you know, like there's generic dad jokes, right? You know, but oh, thank you.
Just read line 3.
I have a bunch of dad jokes. I always have a bunch
Okay,
of
but
dad
this
jokes.
is my thing. Like, so I'm the like dad joke kind of like I'm a one-liner. Like
You are.
Whenever I
Like,
hear,
yeah.
I'm like quick-witted. So whenever I hear somebody say something, I have this like really like fast like response.
Sure.
And a lot of times like people like will not even like pick up on it for
I've
a while.
caught a couple of them while we were doing this. Yeah. There's been a couple.
Yeah,
of
I'll
them.
say something and like maybe like somebody across the room, like another dad across the room, would be like, "I got you."
Give you that
Clutch.
I got you.
side eye
Yeah.
glance.
Clutch
I
move.
love it.
Yeah.
And then my wife is in the corner going, "Oh my god,
Shut
you're
up,
an idiot."
please! You're such an idiot. Shut up! Stop
So
doing
that's
that.
like my dad joke stuff. Like, you know, so
I totally get it. That's all good.
I'm not the best at the
All
the
good.
corny ones, but
So, I was over at my friend's house the other day, and he was showing me his new tool shed, and he pointed to his ladder, or pointed to
pointed
a
to
ladder.
you.
Yeah.
I
No.
was like, is that next to the hole in the fence?
Yeah, no. But he pointed to a ladder that was in the,
Howdy ho,
that was in
neighbor.
the shed, and it's he goes, "That's my step ladder." He said, "I never met my real ladder." Ladies and gentlemen, that's called a weak ass dad joke. Well,
ladder.
so
I think Garrett's was better than yours.
the one that didn't exist. Yeah, that was right.
yeah.
So I guess I don't have anything else unless you do, big boy.
No, keep hitting us up on YouTube, social media. Let us know what you think.
Yeah.
What you like. Give us your dad hacks. Give Bryant some dad jokes.
Yeah,
so he
please.
can
I need some help
come
because
with some
obviously
better
I'm
ones.
struggling.
But yeah, keep letting us know what you guys think.
Yeah, man, and we appreciate you being here. This was a blast.
Yeah, thanks for
And we
having me.
appreciate you telling your stories and being vulnerable about them. That's always what we like having these. That's why we wanted to have this podcast. Is just give people an opportunity to talk about these kind of stories. So-
Glad I got the call. Finally.
Yeah.
I've been waiting patiently since it started.
Well, we appreciate you.
Good job,
So
Decent Dad.
way to go, decent dads.
Well done,
So I guess that'll be the end of it.
Yeah.
Thanks so much.
wah.
Wah, wah, wah. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. We'll see you next time. Make it so.
Okay. Yeah, 3, 2, 1, go. I was trying.
My feet were moving, but I wasn't going anywhere.
It's like 3, 2, 1.
I was making myself laugh, and I was like,
I'm so fucking funny. I make me laugh all the time.
The countdown is just gets me every time.
Try not to talk
Every
on
time.
this
Now I'm
podcast.
crying, guys. Stop it. Gosh. Come on, guys. Let's be serious for 5 minutes.
Would you figure it out?
We were serious.
Yeah, we're ready to go. You're the one over here just twiddling your
You guys
freaking
handle
thumbs.
it. Okay.
We were ready to go.
Just stop laughing.
Hot mic.
Go. Just start. Just do it.
That's his problem. He can. Gosh.
Quit laughing at me. It's not funny.
Holy shit! Why is that funny?
I don't know. What were we even laughing
I
at?
don't know.
Okay, here's my eyes. Okay, I
You.
wanna be
I'm
serious.
laughing
I
at
wanna
you.
be serious. Okay.
Just freaking start, damn it.